do more for me to operate, I'm gonna drop this down. We'll just start with it.
It looks like hell. I used to be in a band, so kind of pretty well over it. Really? Yeah, sounds great, dude. Real good. Red leader. We were pretty good in the battle of the bands, got second. I think we did a pretty rousing cover of Stairway to Heaven. Toward
double parts in and all.
who's first after this? I'm gonna tell you.
If you guys have a heater, just let us know. We can definitely use it.
Call Congress.
We're all. Get closer together. Oh yeah. You're awesome. Oh, does it? I don't know.
What this is? First, second, third.
Still watch. Well, I was last second round. Yeah. It's the one top goal doing the thing. They probably didn't. Yeah. The result. I feel like I would know. And also, like, no one was dying in that picture. Like, literally.
Oh, did I? Three mag now on three. 1, 2, 3. Three mag now. All right, thank you guys.
We don't catch any of that. We don't. That's not even in the picture. I don't want to. You missed the hot.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. Wait, did I say that is not what I was trying to say. Read it over there. Sorry about that. Sorry. I take that back. Thank you so much for everyone, to everyone for being here with us today. We're here to send a message that we feel it is way past time that we advance legislation that gave a permanent solution to the DACA community. And we feel that this is a great opportunity to do so right now during these budget negotiations. And even if it's not included in the negotiations, I think this is a reflection of yet another squandered opportunity to have both sides come together on a bipartisan solution that Americans want, that Americans desire. There's 70% of Americans want a bipartisan solution that would pair border security with permanency for the DACA community. And over 80% of Americans want legalization for the DACA community. I want to thank our partners for being with us today. Congressman Will Hurd and Congressman Newhouse from the 4th District of Washington, who are with us today, and also Forward, the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and the Bipartisan Policy Center for being with us today, and the 40 or so DACA recipients who have flown from across the country to be with us today to send a message that we want a DACA solution now, a DACA deal now. These are fine, upstanding folks who have so much to contribute, so much talent. They have vast capacities that should be unleashed in America, where they can generate opportunities, wealth for themselves, and opportunities and wealth for other Americans. This is a bipartisan solution that we're asking for to pair both border security with a DACA solution that is good for America, that is good for families, that is good for our economy, that would give certainty to the DACA community. So I'm gonna, lo que quiero decir en este momento muy breve en español es de que estamos aquí este día para pedir, apelar a lo que es el Congreso, que queremos una solución permanente para nuestra comunidad de DACA. Estos son jóvenes que tienen mucho que aportar, tienen muchísimo potencial, y ahorita está trabada, yo creo, esa oportunidad, porque no tienen esa certidumbre de tener esa permanencia de estar en los Estados Unidos y contribuir junto con sus colegas americanos. Entonces estamos pidiendo al Congreso que avance en lo que es un remedio permanente que se pueda emparejar con lo que es seguridad para nuestra frontera, y que ya el Congreso ya no siga suspendiendo, postergando lo que es esa solución. Le voy a pedir al congresista Newhouse que pase, Congressman Newhouse. I'm going to cede the floor so you can say a few words, and then we'll go ahead and allow for it. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lending your presence on such an important issue. I'm proud to stand with the people in this country who deserve, finally, a solution to such an important problem that they face. The DACA individuals in this country are truly a huge asset to the United States of America. And I can tell you with certainty, I have sat down with many of them personally. In fact, out of the 17,000+ in the state of Washington, more than a third of those are in my congressional district. and I have met with many of them and know firsthand exactly what you're saying, Daniel, that they truly have a tremendous amount to offer our country, and they want to be able to do that. And it's time for us to be able to come together in a bipartisan way and find that solution that is really right in front of us. In fact, I believe that today we should be on the verge of signing important legislation with that DACA solution. That should be what we are discussing right now in this budget negotiations that are happening, and that I hope we can pass this week. I think it truly is a missed opportunity to finally put this issue behind us and bring a positive solution to thousands of people throughout this country. So I'm glad you're here. I think your presence, your personal stories, that's what's going to make this happen. So thank you for sticking your necks out and being at the forefront of this struggle. I think we're almost there, but with your help, we will get there. And with your message to everybody in Congress, I think that we're going to be successful here very, very soon. So let's keep the pressure on, keep the fight going, and then we can celebrate a success here very, very soon. And it's my huge honor to be able to introduce to you one of my favorite colleagues, Mr. Will Hurd, that represents a beautiful part of the United States, the southern part of Texas. My classmate in the 114th Congress, Mr. Will Hurd, my friend.
As Dan said, I'm Will Hurd, represent the 23rd Congressional District of Texas. It's 29 counties, 2 time zones, 820 miles of the border. It takes 10 and a half hours to drive across it. It's larger than 26 states, roughly the size of Georgia. But why am I here? I am here because over 1.2 million young men and women who have only known the United States of America have to live under uncertainty. I am here because there's 1.2 million young men and women who have been contributing to our economy, to our culture, to our society, that are living in uncertainty. Why am I here? Because for some reason, leadership of the House of Representatives prevents bringing a bill to the floor that could pass. Under 115th Congress, last Congress, it was Republican leadership. And to be frank, we tried to jam them. We got 2 votes away from being able to do that. We knew the underlying legislation, the USA Act, by the way, the only piece of bipartisan legislation out there to do border security and a DACA fix. We know we have over 218 votes to pass the House of Representatives. But under the 116th Congress, it's now Democratic leadership that is preventing this from happening. Why was the DACA fix taken off the table during these current negotiations? The only way we're going to get something done in the Senate is if we pair this with something else. So I don't know why. Republican leadership last year, Democratic leadership this year is preventing this from happening. But there are 1.2 million young men and women who are Americans. And we need to solidify that, make that permanent with a legislative fix. That's why many of my colleagues from both the House and the Senate, Republicans and Democrats, are fighting on behalf of many of these young men and women right here that inspire me every single day. We can't give up this fight. It's frustrating, but we got to continue to do this because these young men and women are contributing to our economy. They're contributing to our society. And we need to ensure that they have to no longer live in fear, that they have to no longer face uncertainty, so they can continue to make the United States of America the greatest country on this planet. So God bless y'all that are keeping up the fight. Knock on those doors. Make sure you ask that question, why aren't we bringing this to the floor? There's only one thing that can get this solved. It's called the USA Act. We'll do it in a heartbeat, but we need the help in order to make this happen. And to all y'all that are here today, God bless you, and may God continue to bless these United States of America.
Thank you, Congressman Hurd and Congressman Newhouse. I also want to say that I also want to express our appreciation for Unidos for joining us today, the National Immigration Forum, ABIC as well. And what you see here is a stack of boxes representative of 80,000 letters that the Libre Initiative has sent to Congress for a bipartisan fix. This is the letter that has been signed from Americans across the country. So just a symbol of the support that we have for the DACA community. And now with you, President of the Americans for Prosperity, Tim Phillips.
Well, good afternoon. On behalf of the 3.3 million Americans for Prosperity grassroots activists, we thank you for being here. And a lot of those activists across the country, I meet them on a consistent basis, are dreamers. And that's why it's so disappointing when we look at this budget deal that's coming together now. It does a great many things, but it has one glaring omission. And that is it fails to give certainty to dreamers. And that's wrong. And it's something that ought to be fixed. This is a problem, a concern that is harming people's lives. It's creating uncertainty. It's holding back dreams and families and so much more. And it's time for Congress in a bipartisan way. And there's blame enough to go around. We're not here about blame today. We're here today to say it's not too late for a solution. It's not too late to do the most simple thing of all. Just provide the certainty that dreamers need and that dreamers deserve. Daniel mentioned that some of the dreamers have taken the time and the expense to come here today. And I want to introduce one of those folks to you. Evelyn has come all the way from Colorado. She's someone who has been an activist with our organization, with Libre and Americans for Prosperity in Colorado. Evelyn, thank you for the time, and come on up.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I want to start off by saying that I'm here to represent my brother, who is currently a dreamer, and all of the other dreamers as well. I used to be a dreamer myself. When I graduated from high school, I wanted to go to college, and I did, but I had to pay out-of-state tuition. I wasn't able to afford it for that long, and I had to continue working small jobs where I couldn't use all of my skills. Then DACA came around. After DACA, my life did change, and I was able to find a job where I was able to express myself, help homeless veterans, and use all of my skills and also learn a lot. Unfortunately, I was a victim at the movie theater shooting in Colorado, and something good came out of that. I was able to become a resident from that tragedy. I am now a permanent resident here, and I now have certainty, and I can now build my family, build a business. We currently have a business that employs 7 other people. We are bringing our skills to this country. I was able to buy a house with my husband, and now we are blessed with the opportunity of growing our family. I now have certainty that we will not be separated, and I will be able to support them and be here with them. All in all, I just want to say that after becoming a permanent resident, I now have endless opportunities, and they are, I'm looking forward to contributing more to this country in our future. Thank you for listening to my story.
I'm Jason Tama. I'm the Director of Policy and Advocacy at the National Immigration Forum, and I'm honored to be here today with Representatives Hurd and Representative Newhouse, Libre, these Dreamers, and all the other organizations that are participating today. The National Immigration Forum calls on both parties of Congress to work together and come up with a bipartisan solution that will ensure the nation's security and address the situation of Dreamers and those with temporary protected status. The DHS government appropriations deal that we're hearing about would be a missed opportunity to provide a solution for Dreamers and TPS holders. It's unacceptable for Dreamers and TPS holders who have been waiting for so long, who have been contributing to our communities, and they need a permanent solution that will allow them to have the certainty that they need in order to understand that they truly are a part of our country, that they're accepted by our country. This is the country that they know as home. And so it's really my pleasure to introduce today a dreamer that we have with us. Her name's Fia Funzim Malala. And she is originally from Madagascar, but now she hails from Rock Island, Illinois. She's a DACA recipient, she's a Christian dreamer, and she's currently the Children's Outreach Director for Youth Hope, where she helps low-income teens and children. And so thank you, Fia, so much for raising your voice today.
Hello, my name is Fia, and I want to thank you all the organizations and individuals that made this happen. I'm from Madagascar. I came here legally on a visa, but now I'm a DACA recipient. In 2016, I graduated from Moody Bible Institute as a communications major with highest honor. I currently live in Rock Island, Illinois. I work as a children's ministries director for Youth Hope Christian Friendliness. As a children's ministries director, I recruit, train, and lead a team of staff and volunteers to pour into kids from marginalized backgrounds, broken families, low-income households. And we do that through after-school programs, through camps, through outreach, counseling, visits, street outreach, and we do all that at no cost to families. I am meeting and working every day with kids that when they look at their future, they see their parents that have broken future and they wonder, am I ever going to be anything? Am I ever going to be anyone? And Rock Island is increasing in immigrant populations, not just Rock Island, but our nation in general. So a permanent legislation will allow me to be a permanent presence in the lives of these kids, to be able to continue to show through my life, to witness to them that God is a God of the foreigners. He watches over the foreigners. He has a purpose for them. Because if I look at myself and what I've been and how He has taken me through my hardship, I can stand in front of them and tell them, you have a future also. So being an immigrant has allowed me to empathize deeply with them, to connect deeply with them, and to be a permanent presence in their lives and to be a voice that they hear. So we ask the Congress to please to pass a solution that offers certainty to dreamers and security to our country, because we are grateful to this country that has given us opportunity to serve, and we're grateful to God for bringing us here, and we're grateful to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Clarissa Martinez, and I'm with Unidos US, the nation's largest Latino civil rights organization. I am delighted to be here with Bernardo, who you'll hear about from in a second. But I'm standing here with Bernardo, with Dreamers, and with the members of Congress and organizations joining here today, because we feel that we need to keep putting people at the core of any negotiations and any conversations that touch on immigration. Because we believe that it is time to end the telenovela, and that the solutions that would bring about permanent relief for dreamers, for TPS recipients, people who are engines of our social and economic fabric, are hiding in plain sight. This is not an intractable problem. My life as an American is a result of bipartisan compromise that happened under the Reagan administration. It's important to remember that and to remind ourselves that we have been here before and we have moved forward with solutions that benefited not only people like me, but the country as a whole. Dreamers and TPS recipients are walking the halls of Congress today like they've done many days to put people at the core. People like Bernardo Castro, who is from Utah, who worked like hell to be able to complete his degree from Brigham Young University, who's working like hell, not only for his family, with his wife, but to start businesses that are going to benefit not only him and his community, but other people that can benefit from the employment and from that drive. We need to keep people at the core. Keeping the government open should not be the high standard we aspire to. That should be the bare minimum. And we should come together to push to the floor what should be the aspiration. And that is the permanent relief that dreamers and TPS recipients need, and to put people again in the driver's seat. Bernardo?
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in Washington with all of you. My name is Bernardo, like Clarissa said. I'm from Utah. I'm here today visiting you from that beautiful state. I was born in Mexico and brought to the U.S. when I was the age of 4. I only learned I was undocumented when I was 16 and I tried to apply for a driver's license. I'm here because DACA has transformed my life. It has allowed me to accomplish goals that I thought were impossible, such as going to college and graduating from BYU with a degree in business management. I have a job lined up, but without a permanent resolution for dreamers, my future is uncertain. It's hard to plan my life when I don't know what to expect. A permanent legislative fix will give me certainty around my life with my wife as well, and around my career as we're trying to contribute to this country. It's not just about me or about us, but it's about what kind of country we are. We need a dreamer deal now, and we're here today to ask Congress to act with urgency because we need this now. Thank you very much.
At this point, I want to ask a celebrity type, a very well-renowned person, a respected journalist who also has something to say, who's an important voice in our community on this issue, Mirka Arellano.
As a journalist and an advocate for the DACA community, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here today and to have met and heard personally all these stories. Just the way that everyone here is uniting from different political parties and different races, different stories, different countries. It's so important that this be done here in Congress and that we get a dreamer deal now. And that's the whole point of what we're doing here. The reason why all these people have flown so many miles, and I think it's important to do that. I'm a daughter of immigrants, and I know how important it is to feel like you are united in something and that you are accepted and loved and honored for what you are doing. So we're just here for that dreamer deal now, and I want to introduce to you another one of the stories. The heart and soul of the dreamers are their stories themselves. So this is what we want you to hear. This is what we want you to take back to your communities and to show people. Elias Gonzalez, would you please come up? He's here from the state of Arizona, and he also has another story for you.
Hello, my name is Elias Garcia Gonzalez. I am a DACA recipient. I am a dreamer, but most importantly, I am a champion. I was born in Sonora, Agua Prieta, Mexico. My parents were traveling from Chiapas, Mexico, up north for a better socioeconomic future. My parents were in college when they brought me to this world, and I was only 1 year of age when they brought me to this nation. And I'm grateful for that. And I am more than thankful for the opportunity to tell my story today. I grew up in the west side of Phoenix, Arizona, where these two loving and caring parents did all they could to provide for their 3 young children, Elias, Luis Carlos, and Eric. Being the oldest and the only immigrant out of my brothers taught me a few things in life. To appreciate the teachers who believed in me despite my legal status, to always fight for the truth and for what is moral, not only for me, but for everyone in this society, and to never give up on my dreams. Growing up, we did not have much. My parents changed their lives in the United States. They began to look for God with hunger and thirst of the truth. And they chased their dreams to give us the best life that they could. My father was a carpenter for many years and now is a pastor at a church in Arizona. As a child, I knew we battled economically. I still remember the time where immigrants and hardworking men started to lose their jobs and were hunted down to, for not having the right paperwork to work and provide for their families. I witnessed how the system would incarcerate and deport a lot of people, including my uncles, who were stripped from their young daughters and sons at an early age. You can see how this sparked a fire in a young soul like my own and many more immigrant children here in the United States. In middle school, I became aware of how our own people perceive politics and how they perceive the police in that area. And also how I became aware of how immigrants begin to be painted as criminals, rapists, alcoholics, and drug dealers. Now, most of you know here that most of you here are educated and know what the concept of labeling theory is. And when an immigrant child is taught that all immigrants are terrorists and criminals, it becomes ingrained in their minds that they have been given a certain role to play. I don't blame you or any political party for this. At the end of the day, most immigrant families come to the United States looking for a better future and escaping poverty or even death. The problem begins with children that are immigrants and how they begin to see that this country does not want them here, not given the right resources and care that they need to succeed here in this country. Yet a lot of these children become dreamers like I did. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I wake up every morning and attend a university and work hard on the weekends to help my parents out with money. I choose to volunteer at my local church where the sermon is translated from Spanish to English through my lips. A church where we are currently helping immigrants coming from Central America, giving them food and resources so that they can succeed. I'm not here to bring glory to my name, but I am here to say that there are dreamers like me trying to make a difference in someone's life every single day. That there are dreamers going to school not knowing if they will be given the permission to work or be part of this nation for the next 2 years. I'm here to ask for a hero on any side that can actually put a proposal on the table, and that this proposal doesn't just stay a proposal, but that it becomes a deal. A dreamer deal now. Thank you.
It was a powerful expression, powerful testimonies, and I think statements of support as well. So I'm just proud to stand with everybody here, proud to stand with our DACA community who have been doing the lobbying and talking to representatives from both sides to get a solution now and to make the dream a reality. So we'll open it up to questions and answers.